Hello Anand, just the fourth day at Brisbane and a 4-wicket loss for India. Seems to be following an all too familiar script here overseas. The Indian team go from a position of strength to abject capitulation. What went wrong for them today? Too many missed chances, too many bad decisions?
Yeah, certainly, this was a capitulation of the kind you didn't expect from this Indian team after the position they got themselves into at the end of the first day, and even after they kicked on and managed to get 408 in the first innings. When you get 408 batting first in a test match, you really shouldn't lose in 4 days unless you do exceptionally badly in the second innings. And it was one passage of play really where 3 wickets fell for addition of in just about 20 balls. Mitchell Johnson bowling with his tail up, and that pretty much ripped the heart out of the Indian top order. And after that, there was no recovery.
Right. We heard early in the morning that Shikhar Dhawan had been injured during the practice session. The Indian team even lodged a complaint about the practice pitches at the Gabba. How much did it hurt India that it was Virat Kohli who had to go in first to bat when perhaps he was not quite ready to do so?
Yes, Mahendra Singh Dhoni explained at the end of the day's play that there was a bit of confusion and the team was a bit unsettled by the events of the morning. Just before play started, Shikhar Dhawan and some of the others were having a hit in one of the practice nets, and the nets. The surfaces there weren't really to the satisfaction of the Indians. They were a bit up and down, and Shikhar Dhawan got hit. And he was in some considerable pain at the time, and the team thought that maybe he could take a painkiller, give it a bit of a breather, and come back out later and score some runs, which he did manage to do. But the flip side of that was that Virat Kohli had to go out to bat without being totally mentally prepared to have to walk out first thing in the morning. And how much of a role did that play in Kohli's dismissal? That's hard to say. That's a bit of speculation. But certainly it wasn't an ideal way for the Indians to start what was a very important session in this test match.
Right, Anand. Boxing Day test coming up next at Melbourne. Can we expect more changes from the Indian side?
I think it's far too early to be thinking about what changes will be made in the next test match. There's still a few days to go and now an extra day gap. In fact, even with this test finishing in 4 days, both teams need to use those days very wisely and carefully, because playing back-to-back test matches is hard at the best of times, and the conditions here have been fairly difficult in Brisbane with extreme heat, high humidity. We've seen players on both sides suffering as a result. So I think right now the Indian team will look back at their performance and see how in a couple of passages of play they could have done things differently and the outcome might have been different. But it's far too early to be thinking about changes for the next test match. Rohit Sharma will be under a bit of pressure. He continues to fail to score runs overseas. Shikhar Dhawan was another who was under pressure, but having made runs in the second innings, I don't think that the team will be rushing to leave him out. Dhoni will still give it a few days and take a hard look at the practice sessions that come up before the next test and then take a call.
Anand Vasu there joining us from Brisbane. Thank you, Anand. We'll see you next week in Melbourne, where hopefully India will be able to do something about this 2-0 lead that they've conceded. And maybe we'll have another interesting test to look forward to. Thank you.